Hi, happy Friday, everyone. This is Katrina Foard with Talbot Greenya Group.
Hey, Katrina, Eric Iliffe here. How's it going, folks, with Talbot Greenya Group? Hope everyone's having a great day. How are
I'm
you?
coming to you from the Keller Williams Dulles office. We have an office here in Dulles, and then Eric is coming to you from the office in Winchester, right?
That is correct. We're right on the.
This is one of the great things about our team is we run from Fairfax County down the DC line all the way down through Frederick County, Clark County, and hopefully in the near future into West Virginia. We're hoping that will be an exciting upcoming thing that we get to do. So Eric, what are we talking about today?
I believe it's winter maintenance tips.
It is.
Everyone's favorite. This time of year, the weather is wonky, right? Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's warm. But if it gets cold and you're not prepared, then unfortunately you might be miserable like me. I don't like cold weather. So if I'm warm, life's good.
So if you follow us on the Facebook page, you're here now. I posted just a few minutes ago a graphic from our team giving you 10 winter maintenance, just items that you need to just check. It's not difficult, but it does require some time. And one of the ones that is on there, I did a printout so I could kind of go over it. But one of the ones I think we never think of, and one more that is not on this list, is number 10 on here is to reverse your ceiling fans. Oh, did you know that one, Eric?
Well, yes, but I'd long forgotten that. So that's a good tip. Although I'm not sure we will reverse them, but I need to do it.
Well, in our house, the fans are apparently constantly running, and they run in summer mode because someone in our house is always hot.
Yeah.
And it's not me.
So I did look at some tips as well. So that's a good one about reversing the ceiling fan. One thing that I would recommend, this won't pertain to the masses, but if you are running propane, make sure your propane tank is filled up, or at least at 50%. You don't want to get it down below 10 and then run the risk of the company, the supplier, being low in inventory or having an overwhelming response due to a cold snap. So
let me ask this, Eric, because I don't run propane. I have clients who have propane tanks. Most of them here in Loudoun and Fairfax are buried. How do you check your propane levels?
So mine, when I lived in Purcellville, was buried, but there was a gauge that was, when you would lift the lid, you can look down into the ground and check the gauge. And so I would check it monthly, especially beginning November, because of the cold propensity to run out. We ran out a couple times over the 12 or so plus years that I was there, and it's not fun. So I would check it, and sometimes you have to peel away snow and ice to check it, but you want to make sure that if you're below 50%, you're notifying your supplier to put you in the rotation to fill it up.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And I think when you're clearing your sidewalks and clearing your roof, if possible, and clearing some trees that are around the roof, you should probably also just clear that off as well. I also recommend, if possible, if you have a cover on your pool, that maybe try and get some of that off around the edges so it doesn't sink. Most people, that's just too difficult. But if you don't have one of the stronger pool covers, that you try and remove some of the ice, because it will break some pool covers. That's a good thing. Remove the snow from the propane cap. So the other tip that I didn't think about was in your furnace system, the ductwork, there are dampers. Frequently, most people have more than one damper. We have markings that we wrote on ours that are marking, they are levers. Typically, they're closer down towards where the furnace is, and you need to open and close those dampers according to the season. So we wrote on ours summer, and then drew a line with marker so that we knew the damper needed to be at some level. And then we drew with the magic marker where it needed to be at winter. Now for us, because we've got people in our house who run hot, we don't always leave ours fully open or fully closed because of some people want specific rooms warmer than others.
Yeah.
So we
Well,
just have learned to do those dampers every season, and it does help divert the temperature that's being poured out. It does help divert it to certain areas of the house. So that's another winter tip.
yeah, that's smart. So we are also property managers. Some of us are. Myself, I help the property manager with inspections. And yesterday, I had a home where the tenant had put something below the door, right on the seal, that would help keep the cold air out. So that's a good idea. If you can pick them up at Home Depot or at Lowe's. And in this case, it ran underneath the runner of the door frame, so that when you would open and shut the door, it would open and shut with the door. So that would give you extra protection from the elements in the wintertime. So maybe a garage door that could go into your basement, or your front door, or side door, depending on what your house setup is. But I really like that, and it was smooth and efficient, and it didn't get in the way of the door performing to its intended use.
Yeah, and I think back in college, what we used, and I'm sure they still sell them, and I don't necessarily recommend this anymore, but we used to do that on the windows. Used to put that plastic stuff and then take your hair dryer. Now, I don't recommend that, especially if you're in a rental, because it uses tape on the side of the windows, and that tape stays there. And if it's not your property, that can damage the window. But we used to do that. It works really well. We also used to take towels. You can't afford to do much with your windows yet. We used to take towels and roll them up and put them down at the bottom of the windows where the draft was coming in. That's the cheap hack.
Yeah.
For the cheap people who don't.
Yeah. Well, it worked.
But it worked. But checking for drafts, it ends up any place you can fill in, any place that can be caulked, caulk it, right? Because it's going to save you money, especially as natural gas, the prices increase. I think propane has increased. That anything you do at this point to save that money, do it. Just prepare beforehand. So.
Yep.
But also, so if you're watching this, you will get this beautiful recording of Eric and I tomorrow in your email. You'll get, is it tomorrow that you'll get it? You'll get an email that comes from us. And if you reply to that email, you are going to be entered to win, I believe it's a $50 gift certificate to Target. So last month we did a honey baked ham, or a couple of those, and those winners got their honey baked ham certificates. And now we're going to do Target. So check for the email, and you're going to reply to that for a chance to win.
Awesome.
So, any last tips, Eric?
There are several little homemade things that people might come up with. So I think we've echoed the ones that make sense. But maybe one last thing, being in property management, I do often find that people think their windows are shut, but they're not sealed. So make sure you actually lock the window, so that will in this case, let the air not come in. If it's spring or even summer, you kind of let that go. But springtime would be fine, or fall would be fine to let the cooler air come in. But when it's ice cold, if that window is not sealed properly, then you're going to let in more air than you realize, and that heat's going to continue to run.
A lot of ways with windows. Same with doors. If they're wood, they will swell and contrast, depending on the weather. So you just got to check those all the time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Eric.
Great seeing you.
I will, hopefully see you again soon when I get down to Winchester. So everyone have a great weekend.
Take care, folks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.